Can you get it? Is that good over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I put this map up a couple years ago just to keep track of where I've traveled to in the last 18 or 19 years doing this blacksmithing work. And Zimbabwe was sort of the beginning of all of this for me. In 2001, I went there for a few months, and that's where I learned to make a hammer, was in Zimbabwe at the Silveira House and right outside of Harare. And while I was in Zimbabwe, we traveled by car up to the north in Mozambique to a little pilot program that the organization that I was working with in Zimbabwe had a lot of pilot programs that they did outside of Zimbabwe and also inside Zimbabwe. But Sister Janice McLaughlin must have seen how sort of naive I was to the world and how that would have been a good trip for me, and it was. I learned a lot and I grew a lot driving that 6 or 7 days from Harare all the way up to the north of Mozambique, and we picked up one of the trainers and then turned around and came back. So I spent a few weeks in Mozambique there, and that was pretty life-changing for me. Anyway, so after I came back from Zimbabwe, and then some of the skills I picked up there, a lot of people in the United States really were excited to see some of the things I learned there, and the demos in the US and mainland US really picked up for me. So I was asked to do a lot of demonstrations. Oh, I missed one there, or it fell out actually. In the United States through 2002 up until about 2008, and then I sort of fell out of circulation in the mainland US demos. And then in 2004, I picked up a job working with Aceres Arequipa in Peru, and we traveled all over. Well, I think there's 25 or 23 states in Peru, and I've been to every one of them. And we worked from 2004 until 2010, traveling around Peru, putting on workshops. And then these are all the states that I've demoed in the United States. And this year I'll add another one in New York. And I think next year I'll be in Maryland, which I've never demoed there before. And then after I had made the trip to Zimbabwe, God, what was it called? There was a group in Brisbane, a husband and wife, Alan and Helen Ball, that were putting on an event in their own shop in Logan Village. And they ran an ad in the Anvil's Ring, I think, asking for international demonstrators. So I put my name on the list. And I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2006. I traveled there for a few months to be their demonstrator. And in that trip, we drove down the coast from Brisbane to Sydney, and which was pretty exciting. I got to meet a lot of guys along the way. What was that guy's name? Phil. Oh, I forget his last name. Anyway, he owns a forge right outside of Sydney, a little industrial forge. Just a great place. And then in 2008, they had a demonstrator lined up, and he canceled last minute on him. So they called me and said, hey, we feel bad to ask you last minute, but would you come and do this? So I came back again and repeated that trip and spent another few months there. And that's sort of everything here, all the United States, Peru. Oh, I forgot about South Africa. I think that was in 2008 or 2009. I was asked by the Blacksmith's Workshop to come and put together sort of a curriculum and help open the first blacksmithing school in Cape Town, in Longa. So I spent a few months there working on that, and met some great people there. Damon Rice, who was one of the members of the board of trustees, Conrad Hicks at he's in Observatory, which is a little district in Cape Town. He's got an amazing shop there. He's on Instagram, Conrad Hicks. And I don't believe that school that we opened is still open, but it was a good experience for me, and I got to go there. So these are all the places that I've, not Morocco and France and England. These are just tacks I put up because I lived in Paris for a while in my 20s, and well, I've been to Spain too, but this is more just travels. I actually worked in France for a while, but not doing this type of work. And these are all the places that blacksmithing has brought me. So I feel pretty lucky and fortunate to have done what I've had and been able to work in so many places I never would have imagined.